Hi. Oh, you know what was happening there, right? My next guest, financial advisor for Guardian Life Caribbean. Omari Nicholi joins us, and we just got into talking, and the cameras came on, and the conversation was just blasting. And so we are back with the brunch. Let me officially welcome you back, and we're going to be talking about retirement. We're going to be speaking about planning for your retirement. What should one consider when undertaking this task? And we speak so candidly to that. So, Omari, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure as usual.
Yeah.
Right?
How are you doing? Let me ask you that first, and let's take it from there. How are you today?
Personally, I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. I was actually waiting to have this conversation. So I'm glad that you're here today because I think it's so relevant, it's so pertinent to
Definitely.
many of our citizens.
Definitely it
Yeah.
is.
So planning for your retirement. First of all, what should one consider when planning for retirement?
One of the main things one should consider when planning for retirement, I would say, is that they should keep in mind the amount of time they actually put into their retirement planning. Mean the period in which they actually start to consider putting aside cash in regards to their retirement planning.
Mhm.
Because the more time would be the more value for your money at the ending of the period. And I would call that the loading period, or the period where you actually put in the influx of cash into your retirement plan.
Right.
Right? So that is very crucial. And of course, the amount you put in on a monthly basis.
And how important it is. I know persons are looking on and they're like, oh my gosh, it is so stressful. How important it is for one to plan
Well, it's
for
very important.
retirement.
It's very important because, I mean, you do not want to be one of the individuals who retirement is upon you. You're upon the brink of 60 or 65, and then you're having to seek additional employment basically to maintain your standard of living and quality of life, right? So planning for it is very important in terms of you actually being able to relax during your retirement years
Right.
versus having to actually get up and seek employment and work to earn an income to assist with, well, whether that be a pension check from the government,
Yeah.
right? To help finish pay off the mortgage or simply maintain your standard of living, as I mentioned before, buy groceries, purchase fuel for your vehicle. As we know, cost of living is something
Utilities.
that's
Yes.
that is always raising as time goes by, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you said, not wanting to be at a certain age and still having to seek employment. I mean, if you want to seek employment at a certain age, that's
That's
your
optional,
choice. It's
correct.
up to
But it
you.
should not be
But it should
mandatory.
not be, yes,
Yeah,
that's the word,
yeah.
mandatory.
Yeah.
It should not be. And this takes me back. I remember one time I was driving along, we went on a trip, a cultural exchange
Yeah.
trip, and we were driving through New York,
Right.
and there was an elderly gentleman sweeping. He was like one of those persons, like we have CPAP here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He was like one of those persons,
Understood. Yeah,
cultivating and
Yeah.
sweeping and stuff like that. And oh my gosh, Omari, that gentleman, if I had to estimate how old he was, he could have been like about 70 something.
You see, and like, why burden yourself with with labor at that age in your life? When you should
Yeah.
be relaxing, you know?
Yeah.
At that point in time, you should be relaxing, knowing that, okay, I worked hard all these years. At least reserve a minimum of $300 of your actual monthly income while you're an active member of the workforce towards your retirement. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you investing in yourself. You're not
Definitely.
investing in your agent, you're not investing in the company, you're investing in yourself.
And retirement, we kind of put it on the back burner. Is that still a thing?
Unfortunately, it is. And
Oh
as I
my.
mentioned, one of the most important factors is the amount of time you give yourself
Yeah.
towards contributing the funds, whether it be $300 or $3,000, at least make a contribution towards your retirement fund as early as possible. That way, it gives the fund much more time to build the value. So when you actually get back the lump sum of cash, it is sufficient, or at least something is more than nothing. Yeah?
Yeah. And what are some of the services that are provided? Let's say there's so many categories for insurance. What are some of the services that you guys may provide in terms of retirement? What types of policies could we look for?
Well, there is the registered annuity plans that is registered with Board of Inland Revenue, right? Where you get back tax returns from, right? That is a major benefit with the registered annuity plans. There's unregistered annuity plans where it is not registered with Board of Inland Revenue, but of course you would not be able to seek the benefits as a plan that's actually registered with the Board of Inland Revenue, right?
Okay.
Which is tax returns, as I mentioned, right? But tax returns is something anybody could look for to tax returns, but of course, the persons with the higher level of income is who would more benefit from something like that, right? But there are also other means where you could invest in a regular insurance policy. Well, of course, something like a whole life policy, right? That would build cash value, and then that cash value can then act as a retirement plan or a retirement fund, given that you don't actually exhaust the funds during the lifetime of your policy.
Right. Oh.
Because the cash value is something that builds as time goes by with the whole life policy.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you said that, because what if someone invested in retirement, but they are not retired? They're still employed, but they started their retirement planning early.
Well, that's actually great for them. That's great for the individual, because I mean, they would have already cater for their retirement years by actually reserving at least $300 or $400 on a monthly basis towards that fund. Now, when you multiply that 300 by 12, that's like 36, right?
Yeah.
And that money now grows with interest that you can look forward to now. And what we have to remember is that the value of $100 today would not be the value of $100 10 years from now.
Definitely not.
You see inflation. So all of these things are factors that we have to consider when planning for retirement.
Yeah. And what are some of the pros and cons? When I get into pros and cons, because I'm thinking holistically. Like, say for instance, someone invested in retirement. They were invested in retirement early, which is a good thing, as you just mentioned. What if they are deceased? What if a loss of life happens for that said individual?
For the individual, well, then the retirement fund, the lump sum of cash that you would have been entitled to during your retirement years, would then go towards your beneficiary. So it's not like that cash goes back to the states, or it just goes to the company in any form or fashion. It goes to your listed beneficiary under your policy.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's more like it's like a win-win.
It's a win-win. There's no loss at all.
Yeah, that sounds like a win-win situation right there.
Yeah.
So just brief us once again, because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to let our viewers understand how this all ties in. So we started with retirement, planning for your retirement, but we can also touch on insurance as a whole and the various types of insurance. I mean, you've been here before. You know, we spoke about life insurance. We spoke about if a family member dies, what happens, and stuff like that. So we could just brief on the various types of insurance that we have, so that persons have some knowledge as to where they want to go, where insurance is concerned.
Okay, so generally there's three main aspects of life insurance. There's life insurance for life in the event that you die prematurely. There's insurance for critical illness. That's in the event that you are diagnosed by a medical professional with any form of critical illness, right? You are entitled to a lump sum of cash that would offset any medical expenses. And then there is life insurance in regards to your retirement, right? And it's more of an assurance than an insurance, because that cash is guaranteed to you at the maturity date of your life, of your retirement policy.
Right.
Whether that be age 60 or 65, that's your choice. Or the earlier you start, the
The
better for
better
you.
for you.
You could, if you aspire to retire at age 40, 45, age 50, that's your choice. But the earlier, the better.
Yeah. And you say it so well. The earlier, the better, guys. Okay? There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. So, Omari, we want to thank you so much. As usual, informative, and giving us a clearer view, because there's so many people who are still hesitant. I don't know why, but some of us still are.
I don't know why as well,
Yeah?
but don't be hesitant. I am not a beast in any form or fashion. I'm a friendly, very open-minded guy, conversationalist, down to earth. Feel free to contact me at 348-6019 for a free consultation. The only thing you actually pay for is your policy, and you are investing in yourself. Yeah?
Yes, definitely. So we're going to take a break, guys. We're going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago.